Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelpline.org.au.
Simon told Helen wins a half length. Zach Manelli second.
Welcome to Greyhound Gossip.
Peaky Blinders start cheering for Tommy Shelby wins the WA Sprint Championship final.
Featuring Peter O'Neill and Leia Ernest.
Mozza moves up to Mermaid Manelli. Fab's Gem 3 deep. Here comes Fab's Gem.
Hard style Rico by 5 lengths to Simon told Helen. Third Tommy Shelby.
This segment is dedicated to the discussion and promotion of greyhound racing.
Cindy's Oliver, Rockstar Patriot, Paul Stewart, back-to-back with Rockstar Patriot in the Galaxy.
Handsome Prince, a bolder clear. The former Tasmanian Handsome Prince has won the $1 million chase.
And a very good morning, everyone tuned into Greyhound Gossip, and a very good morning to you, Peter O'Neill.
And good morning, Leigh. Good morning, everyone. Yes, welcome along. Big weekend for greyhound racing across Australia, and what a weekend it was for WA greyhound racing.
Oh, it was fantastic, Peter. I mean, we started off locally where we saw Chris Holtz trained a trifecta in the West Chase final. I believe he's won 5 out of the 8 finals, so great job to Chris. And then, of course, we went interstate to Brisbane, and all of WA was cheering on both Jamie Marsh and Shayne Williams. And Jamie Marsh would be on a cloud 9, especially after that huge win taking out the Group 1 Brisbane Cup.
Yeah, just back to Saturday night, a remarkable training, breeding, owning performance by all concerned in the West Chase. So WA Bred Series, Weston Booney, whose sire Tommy Shelby started, I think his first runner, you can correct me if I'm wrong, was around January of this year on the track over in Queensland. Tommy Shelby's pups, I think they started racing. I might be wrong. And he's going at a strike rate of around 25% winners. He's remarkable what he's been able to do. Obviously, his sire, Fernando Bale, was outstanding. But he trifected the race, and of course it was from the same Little Weston Violet. Linda Britton gave 2 brood bitches to Justin Warwick some time ago. The first litter from the first brood bitch had Crop Duster, who obviously won on Saturday night, started favourite in the Galaxy earlier in the year. And then the second bitch was Weston Violet, of which Tommy Shelby was mated to him, and Weston Booney, King Tommy, Flying Frida, first 3 across the track on Saturday night in the West Chase. So that was remarkable. And well done to Justin Warwick. Obviously, the way he brings up the pups, he's doing well. And if you breed from good bitches and also send them to good sires, then you're going to have a lot of success.
Yeah, I agree, Pete. And, you know, it's very, very exciting when you have your own greyhound race and it's successful, but then it retires, and then there's a whole nother journey involved in that because there's the breeding side of things as well. So Tommy Shelby is a perfect example. Took the Withers on a ride and the Harders, and now they are following on Tommy Shelby's journey with the pups. And
the fact that I've said this numerous times, he maybe has one run in the top 20, fastest ever at Cannington, Tommy Shelby, but he was such a quality chaser that chased so hard and also knew which paths to actually take. So he was a very smart, intelligent dog. And I've got a pup now that is learning to race, might not be that intelligent, and finds trouble, where Tommy Shelby knew how to take the right runs and miss all of the trouble. And that's why he was such a good dog. And I think we're starting to see that in his progeny as well. So well done to all concerned. Well done to Chris Holtz. You did mention that he's won this race numerous times in the past. Of course, he won this race 3 years ago with Sir Monty. Premium Share was also from the Holtz Kennel, Weston Hawkeye, Times Square at least. Weston Hawkeye, Times Square back in 2016. Successful as well. But Saturday night, on Friday night, it was a big night across in Queensland with the running of the Brisbane Cup. It was a $1 million race, and the final was run and sounded like this.
They are racing for $1 million. These 8 greyhounds are chasing greatness. Green light is on. Postman Pat, box 8. Racing, Postman Pat last away. Well into stride, Bears Bullet together there with Elite Machine driving through Crumble Manelli. Postman Pat wide in midfield as they go round the first turn. Bears Bullet taken on by Elite Machine. Up to third was Magistrate. Postman Pat midfield followed by Crumble Manelli. Emron Boy, Mapunga Warrior. Last of all, Simply Limelight down the side. Elite Machine burst away by 5 over Magistrate, Postman Pat. But it's Elite Machine. It's racing away to Group 1 Glory. And Elite Machine by 6 lengths. Either Postman Pat or Mapunga Warrior second and third.
The two-time Group 1 champion in just 4 months. What a dream come true. And joining us on Greyhound Gossip this morning is Elite Machines trainer Jamie Marsh. Jamie, congratulations and a very good morning to you.
Thank you very much. Very good morning to you guys as well.
How are you feeling today after the weekend?
Yeah, I just drove my Vito van straight into a post of one of my empty outyards and ripped the door off, so it's not been the greatest being back home, but apart from that, it's been a wonderful few days.
You need to stop drinking, Jamie. I actually rang Jamie on Saturday night, Leia, after one of the races and had a conversation with him. I think he was in an Uber or a taxi just getting home, and he said he was trying to pay, and he said, I'll ring you straight back. I still haven't heard from him. So this is the first time. I'm glad you're still alive, Jamie. How did you celebrate the win, first of all?
Yeah, it was good. It was a bit different to the Perth Cup, so it was nice. Brisbane did a really good job with the marquee and a buffet, and there was a bar there. So we just went back up to the marquee, and Tony. We had just had a few beers with Tony. Even old Dan got on the drink. So it was just sat at the bar and had a chat and took a few photos with the trophy, and just enjoyed a few beers.
That is a great photo. You have definitely seen it, but it is a great photo of you with the Leap Machine, and he looks like the happiest dog giving you a cuddle alongside Daniel, and Sam Marsh was also there. Well, not Sam Marsh anymore, of course, but Sammy.
Yeah, it was great. It was a fair while after, so he'd had a bit of time to calm down and relax, and it was good. The photographer there's a ripper bloke. He does some sensational shots. There's some coming out overhead of them, coming out of the boxes and mid-race and all kinds. So, the photo opportunities there were really good. And the gentleman gave us the link, and I've got no doubt Dan will be pulling the credit card out at some stage in the next couple of days and ordering a stack. But yeah, there was some really nice photos taken on the night to remember how special it was. You said post-race that it's hard to put into words the emotion, but after a few days, can you tell us how you're feeling now? I mean, 2 times winning a Group 1 race in 4 months, as we mentioned, and, initially was 130th on the richest greyhound list and will now go to 3rd, I believe it is, and nearly $1.4 million. That is a massive jump. Yeah, I mean, all credit goes to him. He's a superstar, and he's like I said earlier that it was really nice to go east and pick up a big race. He sort of has done a tremendous job in WA, and obviously winning the Perth Cup and a Lou Dorser and running 3rd in a Sandgroper. And he'd been to Melbourne for a couple of attempts and sort of not pulled it off. So you do get that tag of just being a WA dog. So it was, I think, enormous at the end of the day. The best feeling was, for more than anyone for the dog, was that he could go to Brisbane and race in one of the richest races in the country against the best dogs in the country and win and go through also undefeated through the whole series, 3 from 3. So sort of puts a few knockers to bed about whether he could win outside of WA. And, obviously we all seen on Friday night that he can. The quality of WA greyhounds is remarkable at the moment. We also saw Panama Pepper win earlier on in the night in quick time, and the WA dogs have done so well. Crumble Manelli also making that final. Go back 4 or 5 starts prior, Jamie, when he finished down the track behind Electrified. He'd been beaten 3rd the start before. I think it might have been the heat of the Winter Cup behind Barbecue Man. He finished down the track behind Electrified. Was there some concern there that you might not go to Brisbane, or what was the thought process that was back in the middle of June? Yeah, he was actually touch and go until pretty much the morning of the flight. He had a pretty horrendous fall in the Winter Cup final when he was just about to sort of get to the front. Well, he was just making a run down the outside of a couple of dogs and unfortunately took a pretty bad tumble. He seemed to get through He got through it fine. By the time we got him home and he'd cooled down, he was jumping 6 foot in the air and carrying on. So but he just pulled up a little bit sore in the coming days. And just a conversation with Tony before he left. I was confident in sending him, and that it was just some superficial soreness. And obviously his welfare was always going to be the number one priority. But it was always a bit of a gamble. But I think when you won Group 1s and that like he has, I think he deserved a crack at a big race. And it was. I mean, obviously we pulled the right rein, and sending him over was the right idea, and and he came out and won a Brisbane Cup. But it definitely was up in the air for a while, Pete, beforehand.
He's now won 22 times, as Leia mentioned, over $1 million in stake money from his 39 starts. But it's important to note that his 11 wins, his last 11 wins have been since you've taken over, which is back in February. Can you go through again, tell our listeners how that came about? Because obviously, as Leia mentioned, Sam was with you, and Sam's partner Daniel, who owns the Greyhound, we were hoping to have him on this morning, but he's a little bit nervous to talk to Leia, not so much me.
Well, I did say, Pete, that she was Samantha Marsh, so that was not the best thing.
That's okay, and obviously your daughter was over there as well. So you and Sam are doing a great job in bringing her up. But tell us about how you got this greyhound into your care, because if you go back and have a look at his history, he won his maiden first up in March in 2022 in 30 and 16. He didn't break 30 seconds until probably 6 or 7 starts later.
Yeah, it was just an opportunity from Dan. He had taken care of the dog and wanted to send him to Melbourne for a stint at seeing if he could match it over there. He's obviously run some fast times before that over at Cannington, and I think also at Mandurah over the 400. And the stint obviously at the Meadows didn't go as well, and it just came down to, at the end of the day, I think he got the phone call from Brett Bravo, who said, "Look, mate, he isn't really going as well as we thought here, and maybe best send him back home." And it just went from there. I got a phone call from Dan asking if I'd take over training him, and it was an opportunity I'll always be thankful to Dan and Sam for. They were more than happy to give me the opportunity to train him, and he's just gone. He's gone super since. He's been a life-changing dog for all of us and our families.
And how does your little daughter, how does she comprehend all this when she sees mum and dad celebrating after winning another Group 1 on the other side of Australia?
She just wants to know how many toys she can get when she gets back to Perth. So I think she ended up with a new iPad yesterday. So she's loving life, but she loves it. She's not overly interested by the greyhounds on a day-to-day basis. She behaved perfectly. She enjoyed the experience, and it was great just to get her out of WA, and obviously Nigel gave us that opportunity to travel and enjoy that experience. And it was good. She enjoyed her first proper plane ride, and I think she's always proud, but probably still a bit young to comprehend the enormity of the whole situation. But it was wonderful to get the opportunity to take her with us.
And I know you and Dave Hobby love to have a little bit of a banter. He always thanks you for making up the numbers. Did he congratulate you after the win?
He did, yeah. Actually, he said, "Well done, Jamie, turning for home." So I don't know, that would have taken a lot for him to do. So I appreciate that. And after all that, it was funny. We boarded the plane, and there he was sitting across the aisle from me. So we enjoyed a couple of drinks together on the way home. He got into a few Johnny Walker Black Labels, and we had a good chat. And he's great for it, Dave. He's tremendous. He'll give it to you, and you can give it back, and it's a bit of banter and it's a bit of fun in the sport. But it was good. It was fun to sit next to him on the way home and stir him up for 6 hours. But I think he's back home now.
Yeah, no, he's done very well with his team that he took across to Queensland. Will you travel again with Elite Machine, and what are the plans that you and Daniel have for him going forward over the next 6 months?
I just think he'll come home and have a bit of a rest. He's had a pretty hectic schedule. Perth Cup rolled into the Lou Dorsal, that went into the Sand Groper, the Winter Cup, and now a trip to Brisbane. So not that he's a dog that will enjoy a rest. He's pretty full on and over the top, but he'll probably have a week or two off, and then we'll aim up for the Nationals. Obviously, that's going to be awfully hard to win, but it would be a great opportunity if he was to go and represent WA against the other states, and see how we go there. But just for the time being, he's done enough. He can come home and enjoy Dan will be over, I'm sure, with a double quarter pounder and half of McDonald's, and he can enjoy a bit of rest for a couple of weeks, and then we'll just see how he comes through, and we'll front up, hopefully, in the National Series.
Well, we'll definitely be keeping an eye on Elite Machine as well. Thank you, Jamie, and congratulations again for taking out the Brisbane Cup to you and Dan.
Thanks, guys. Thanks so much for your support.
Jamie Marsh there after the huge win in Brisbane. Elite Machine took out the Group 1 Brisbane Cup, and Elite Machine was not the only Group 1 runner we were cheering on Saturday. They also had the Queensland Cup there in Brisbane, and we have Shayne Williams, trainer of Rip and Grace, joining us on Greyhound Gossip this morning. Shayne, a very good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Leia. Good morning, Pete. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, good morning, Shane. Boom Crash Opera was the reason you were going across there, not to see your bitch run. I'll get to that shortly, but gee, she was really brave, wasn't she, Rip and Grace?
Yeah, I don't think she let anyone down, Pete. She tried her hardest, and it was a bit of a surreal feeling, to be honest. I sort of was watching her down on the ground level, and coming past the 500-metre boxes, I thought she'd sort of had it in the bag and started to get a bit emotional, and yeah, then she just sort of died on the run the last 30 metres, but I think she'd done a lot of work to sort of get into fourth spot after the first turn, so she'd sort of spent all the petrol tickets, but we're super proud of her, that's for sure.
Her last 12 runs in Western Australia and Queensland, she hasn't finished any further back than third. That was that third that the other night, and she started off, obviously, back in April, where she was just in outstanding form. She was placed in a Group 3, I think that was the Miata, wasn't it, back in April, and then she took out the Group 2 WA Oaks. It's been a remarkable career so far, and she's only had 36 starts and won over $150,000 in stake money for you.
Yeah, well, I think in them 36 starts, Pete, she's never ever missed a check. She's obviously run 6 fourths, so we get paid for fourth, so she's earned a check every time she's gone around. I don't know if that's been done before, but she's just very honest and consistent and versatile, I think, is the main word. We can sort of race her any distance, but we were overwrapped with a run, and she can match her on the big stage now, so we've got options now. So super proud. It was a good night, and it was obviously good to be there to see Jamie and Daniel win the Brisbane Cup as well, so that was really good.
Oh, we're so proud here in WA, honestly, to cheer on. And the greyhounds we have and the talent pool we have in WA is sensational at the moment. And, you know, all the dogs over east, we have this big rap being in WA that we, you know, can't stand up to the dogs over there. But for Rip and Grace to prove her ability in a big Group 1 race over east must be so satisfying for you and the kennel, even if she just missed out on the win.
Yeah, like she's been beaten less than a length in a Group 1. I mean, they're all there in the heats, all the good dogs, so they had their chance. But we're over the moon, and like she's only not even 2.5 yet, so you would think that, you know, a bit more time and mature, she would get a bit stronger. And obviously Nationals is up next, but if I don't really get in that, I've always wanted to take her to Melbourne, and the speed starts on again this year, so I think that's the sort of type of racing that would suit it down to the ground, because she can run very fast time. One out, obviously, there's another dog in there, but we've got a lot of options moving forward, and it's just good to see that she can handle the class, and obviously she settled into Tom and Jetta's really well. Got to pay big homage to them. They were tremendous. They looked after her really well, and she's gone super. Like I said, couldn't be more proud of her.
She's only young, so she was only whelped in February in 2021, so she's just over, just over 2 years of age, but she's already been placed in a Group 1. She ran fourth in the Group 1 Galaxy over here in Perth earlier in the year, ran second in a Group 3 and won a Group 2. Do you have to consider her breeding prospects as well?
Yeah, she'll be definitely going to the breeding barn. I would say, having a chat to the owners on Friday night, that probably maybe the Galaxy next year might be her swan song, so she'll just be 3 then. And there's already a lot of people keen to buy her pups, so I think they're going to go to Fernando Bale, so hopefully we get a few to train, Pete.
What do you think is her pet distance? She's won over numerous distances, shown her a versatility. What do you think is her pet distance?
I've always said 700. People disagree with me, but that's their opinion. I see her every day and train her every day. I think I know her like the back of my hand. 600 bend starts are no good for her. maybe like a 650 at sale would be sort of an ideal trip for her. But, like I said, I think she's only going to get a bit stronger when she gets a little bit older and more mature. And all this trip away is also going to mature up as well. So, and, like I said, hopefully next stop Melbourne, if we don't make the Nationals, then definitely want to take her there and give her a look at the Speed Star sort of type of racing, and also like sort of bold threes at the end of the year. So she's seen both the tracks in Melbourne. So, she's just, you can just have faith in her when you travel her and you race her. She never lets you down.
What was it like over in Queensland for our listeners here? Tell the patrons or what it was like being a patron on course at Albion Park there on Friday night.
Yeah, it was really good. There was different marquees for different events, and there was people scattered everywhere. So I don't really know what the crowd was like, but obviously after the races, the band started, and they would have looked like there was about 5 people watching, but there's more people. They were upstairs, inside. That if you're a boom crash hopper looking out, you probably would have thought there was 5 people, but there's obviously a couple of hundred people upstairs looking down at them. So they were really good. Like Luke's a really good operator in Brisbane, and Queensland Racing have got right behind them. So just goes to show, if you put the money up, the dogs will come. So hats off to them. They've done a super job, and I even heard Robbie Britton say it's the best carnival in Australia. So someone like him saying that, then they can take a lot of accolades.
There's a couple of videos going around on socials at the moment of you dancing. Was that actually you?
I haven't seen them, and
Can you send
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised, Pete. Give it a bit of a nudge. So I wouldn't be surprised if Luke snuck a couple of sneaky ones in there. So you'll have to send them to me so I can confirm that or deny it.
And you had a beer with the great man John Brash as well, which he was very appreciative of catching up with you, WA boys.
Yeah, seen Johnny and said hello from you, Pete, and had a bit of a chat. And he called the race magnificent, both races. I obviously couldn't hear much slide, but I went back and watched the replays. I thought his calls were really good, and it was a good night, Pete. Like I said, I think any other states want to match that, they've got to go over there and have a look, and I think that's how you do it. I think because it's an outstanding night. There was something there for everyone, and it was good to see WA bring home the bacon as well. So good.
Shane, before we let you go, I know that you travel, it comes with Greyhound Racing. We travel a lot for work, and you've got 2 absolute rock stars working back at home for you in the kennels while you were away. Jay Jacobson, Gemma Jovanovic, you've talked about them before, and they would also be very proud of Grace's efforts, and they held the fort while you were gone.
Yeah, certainly. They're at the airport now, dropping a couple of dogs off to Darwin. So, their work goes very... they're just troopers. They love the dogs, and we all work good together. So, they're stars of our sport. And obviously, Jay's started out her own career, and I don't think Gemma will be too far behind. But I've told them they're not allowed to leave me, so we'll see how we go there. Well, they're very lucky to have your support, Shane, and thank you very much for coming on the show. Congratulations on your success. Thanks very much, guys, and just want to say, Pete and Leia are absolute. To our industry, you're absolute rock stars. The promotion you do and it doesn't go unnoticed. So keep up the good work, guys.
Thanks, Shane. Shayne Williams joining us on Greyhound Gossip on this Monday morning, and it's an exciting time. The Nationals coming up just around the corner. So WA's got some very, very talented chasers. Rip and Grace over the 7:15. You throw in the likes of Couch Surfer, Speed Freak. There's a few others that I haven't mentioned. And then the sprinters, behind Elite Machine, Crumble Manelli, and Electrified. There's some very talented chasers. Whoever does represent Western Australia, they'll do us proud over there in Melbourne in August. Well, that's the thing, Pete. WA, we don't just have one or the other. We've got both stayers as well as sprinters, so I think we have a very good chance. And fingers crossed, if we do get through, Pete, will you be going over east? I've already booked, yes. I've already booked. Sharon and I are going over. Love going to Melbourne. They look after you really, really well. So we'll be heading across there and cheering on the WA chasers. We mentioned, I failed to mention last week when we were on the show that just recently Racing and Wagering Western Australia come up with the deal with the police union, West Australian Police Union, to be able to actually have our greyhounds as pets to go and work with, or not go and work with, but go and live with police officers that have gone through challenges, and it helps them to relax and actually helps them to keep their anxiety in order.
That's fantastic, Pete, and not only for that reason, but, we've been very full at the kennels with GAP, so it's nice that not only are our dogs going to good homes, but just helping people out as well, especially in the industry. Police, they put in so much work for us, and it's just nice that the greyhounds can help them out.
Yeah, I saw a few greyhounds over the weekend just pottering around in the community, which is great to see, and it's obviously they do a very good job, our Greyhounds as Pets team. That's Greyhound Gossip for this Monday morning. Leia will be playing an ad break. She'll be back after this and take you through race day.